What's up everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the Kershaw Cinder. First I wanted to do a quick unboxing. The Cinder comes in a plastic case and on the back it has some features of the knife itself with some other information about the company. So let's go ahead and unbox this real quick. And the model on this guy is 1025X. One thing I did want to note is on the back here it says designed in USA, made in China. Before we get into the features, I did want to talk about the price real quick. So quick disclaimer, prices are subject to change by the time you watch this video. Currently on Kershaw's website, this original Cinder is going for $11.19 and the copper version is going for $28.79. And on Blade HQ's website, the regular one is going for $11.95 and the copper one is actually really cheaper, coming in at $14.99. So if you're into the copper one, I'd say the better deal is going to be through Blade HQ if you're interested. So starting with the blade, you're getting a sheep's foot blade made out of 3CR 13 MOV. It also has a hollow grind and a stone wash finish, and it is also designed by Rick Hinderer. The blade also comes with a swedge on the top of the blade for a comfortable surface for you to put on your thumb to rest on. And on the bottom, you're going to have a finger choil in between the blade and the grip right here. That way you could wrap your finger around it. Next, you'll find jimping on the back of the spine and liners. So you're going to see those guys right there. This knife is also right-handed use with one thumb stud on the left side of the knife for opening. And the last thing I wanted to mention on the blade was you have Kershaw on one side, and then you're gonna have the model number on the other, 1025, and it says Kai for Kai USA. And this is a Hinderer design and it's made in China, so it has a China stamp right there. Now moving on to the grips. The grips are made out of glass-filled nylon and have deep grip texture grooves for handling. Next you have the lanyard hole, and I use this as a keychain hole, and you also have your bottle opener right here. I also wanted to mention the large cutout for both opening the knife and the inset liner lock. So what I mean by that is this big opening right here makes it so that it's easy for you to open it with the thumb stud. And in here you can see that liner lock, and you can see it kind of has some like cutout windows. I'm not sure if that's for looks or if that's for weight reduction, but it looks good and the liner feels great. I've never had any failures or issues with it, so far so good. And the screws all along this knife are going to be T6 screws. One thing that I did notice about this knife was that I did notice a very familiar grip texture. And what I mean by that is, before I got this knife, I had the Kershaw Brawler right here. And I'm gonna have to take pictures of this because it's kind of, the lighting in here is kind of weird, guys. I apologize. I'm working on that. But the grip texture design on the Brawler is pretty close or very similar to the design on the Cinder. So very familiar grip textures. I was trying to look online to see if this design, or to see if Kershaw had named this specific design or not, but I couldn't find anything. So if any of you guys know the name of this design on the grips, comment down below and let me know. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the pros and cons. There's not really too many. I'll start with the cons and go from there. So the first thing I wanted to mention was the blade steel. The blade steel is very soft and loses its sharpness very quickly. It does come out of the box very sharp, but after a little while it does tend to go away. So you might find yourself sharpening this a little bit more often than your pocket knife. It's still a great knife, but again, just I wish that they had put maybe some better steel in this, but at the same time, you're looking at a $11 knife, so it's kind of hard to complain about that, but that was a con for me. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that this is mainly dedicated for right-hand users. I'm right-handed, so this wasn't a con for me, but I feel like for my lefties out there, it's a little bit harder to open this knife. So I'm still able to kind of do it, but it's more of like an awkward opening, but it could still be done. The last con that I wanted to talk about is not so much a con anymore, but I figured it was worth mentioning. The bottle opener on my first Cinder, this is my second one. The first one I had to throw away because I forgot to take it off my keychains when I went through security. So the first Cinder that I had, the bottle opening claw, if you will, was very rounded out. So it would slip out of the bottle cap a lot of the times. It would take me about 2 to 3 times or 2 to 3 tries to open one bottle cap. And it was very annoying. I had to angle it a certain way for it to catch onto the bottle cap. Whereas this newer one, it looks like they made this claw a little bit more aggressive so that you don't have that issue anymore. And I tried contacting Kershaw, but I wasn't able to get a hold of anyone. And I couldn't tell if they ever revised this version or if they ever updated this knife, because now the bottle opener is the best thing ever. It only takes me one try. It catches on the bottle cap all the time and I have 0 issues. So I'm sad I lost my first Cinder, but I'm kind of happy I did because I got a better one, if you will. So again, not necessarily a con, but maybe keep an eye on that. I guess if you're looking into getting a Cinder, make sure you don't get one with a rounded out claw. Make sure you get one with a bit of a aggressive claw. And onto pros, it's pretty straightforward with this thing. It's small, it's lightweight, compact, and it has a bottle opener. And you know, it's a great knife overall. It's rare that I don't have a knife in my pocket, but when I don't and I have my keys on me, I always go to this guy. And this is a good second knife if you ever want to lend it to anyone. I don't know about you guys, but anytime someone asks me to borrow my knife that I don't really know or trust that much, I kind of give them this knife instead of my pocket knife, just because I would rather them break an $11 knife instead of a $200-300 knife. Yeah, great little knife. I did want to do a quick comparison, guys, before we end this video. This is the knife opened. Here is a Sharpie pen. And here is the Kershaw Brawler that I mentioned earlier. And the Brawler I would consider a small knife. Next I got a key fob, and here's the Olight flashlight that I'm going to be pairing this with for my keys. Here's the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It doesn't even fit in the screen, but it's a full-size knife. And here's the keychain knife that I have. I hope that comparison gives you a bit of a better understanding of how small this keychain knife really is. I would highly recommend it, 10 out of 10. This is a really good tool to have. I recommend it to anyone that is in the market for a keychain knife, and they also make for really good gifts. They're pretty cheap. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking this video out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.